Belgrave Villa stood empty for 5 years while sale after sale fell through. It was just waiting for two people stupid enough to take on the monumental task of restoring it to its former glory. And that's where we come in. Hi, I'm Millie, and this is my boyfriend Louis, and in autumn of 2023 we were looking to buy a project together after selling our respective homes. And in March of this year we got the keys to Belgrave Villa, our 7-bed derelict Victorian villa that's left us wondering,
what have we done?
We never anticipated being able to afford something of this magnitude, but all of those failed sales meant the sellers were willing to drop the price significantly and somehow accepted our very cheeky offer. And before we knew it, we were knee-deep in a huge renovation. Until now, we've been documenting everything in short clips on other platforms, so let's start from the first week of March and recap everything we've been up to so far. Our journey began with the arduous task of stripping away carpets, furnishings and built-in fixtures. Salvaging what we could, we bid farewell to the mouldy decor. We pulled up the carpet in the old kitchen and found some very dusty but very beautiful original tiles. And with just a little scrub, they already started to look better. In front of the old stove, they are severely blackened and some destroyed, so they're going to need a bit more love further down the line. In week 2, with our first discovery under our belts, we started the more hardcore removal. We started by hacking off the damp plaster around the house because, as you can see, we had a little bit of an issue with black mould and damp. In the process, we made several more discoveries that allowed us to start piecing together the history of the house. Upstairs, we discovered 2 windows, one of which you can see here, which we found whilst trying to connect this room, which is becoming a walk-in wardrobe, to the master bedroom. And these 2 windows were located here and here, meaning that these sections were the only original parts of the house. This was later confirmed downstairs when we removed these fitted cupboards which were located against the wall of the chapel. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, it has a chapel. Anyway, if you're super observant, you may notice a crack in the shape of the door, which is exactly what Louis realised once the cupboards were taken down. He began to take a section of the wall away and discovered the old external back door hidden behind this stud wall. This door is just here, and this whole part was an extension. We wanted to know how long this door had been hidden away in the wall. A friend of ours found some copies of old maps. In the 1891, you can see the extension has appeared just here. This would make this door between 154 and 134 years old. The extension doesn't actually go the full width of the building, so the external wall of the extension was blocking part of it, which is slightly difficult to picture, so let me show you. So this is the outside view of that extension, so this is the kitchen here and that's the start of the chapel. And you can see just like the sandstone dressing which would have gone around that door. Yeah, so it kind of just steps out, which I think is difficult to visualise, and that's how half of the door was covered up. We decided that we would open up the wall because this room is going to be our kitchen and the chapel is going to be our living room. So having a more open plan layout without this wall would work quite nicely. So we started work on that. Louis carefully removed the existing door and it came out in one piece undamaged.
So this is our mountain of rubble that came out of the wall joining the dining room and the living room. As you can see, there's a lot of it, but we're going to keep it because we think it might be good for when we do the garden. We could build like walls or steps and use some of the stone from the house to do so. Because it was an old external wall, we needed to add steels. They built this pillar here to support it and matched it on the other side. So now we have a really nice symmetrical opening going through to the kitchen.
So whilst the bricklayers were working on opening up this wall, they were hacking off the plaster in the future kitchen and found an old external window, which was very exciting, and Louis opened it up and found that it opened into the stairs going down to the cellar. And then they continued to hack off the plaster and also found an old external door right next to it. All of this happened while I was in work, and let's just say, if I'm in work, it doesn't get filmed. So I apologise for the poor quality of footage at this point. But once I had the day off, we got to work exposing the door completely. We put on all the protective gear. Well, not all, because next time I'll be wearing a hard hat as well. Then started removing the bricks and hit a bit of a problem.
This bit might be holding up this staircase. Not the whole staircase, but like part of it.
Yeah.
We don't know yet. So probably we're better off trying to leave that wall in, taking this one out. I can almost take this wall apart by hand if I saw.
So we removed just the front layer of bricks, which was actually plenty because we only want enough depth in this space to make shelves. Because it backs onto the main staircase, it couldn't be a doorway anyway. And then once the wall was down, we found the best thing yet. In the wall was this old helmet. We were initially a little bit creeped out because inside it said Dr. C.P. Robinson, and we kind of thought it was for electric shock therapy. However, it turned out to be a World War II helmet liner belonging to a man who used to own the house. Dr. Cornelius Patrick Robinson and his wife, Nora Robinson, lived at the house from 1949 to 1986. One of our amazing Instagram followers found these photographs. This was from a newspaper write-up about a dinner in January of 1939 for members of the Welsh Field Ambulance Royal Army Medical Corps. This photograph was taken in January, and in September of this year the Second World War began, in which Dr. Robinson served. We'll definitely be putting this on display when the house is done. Finally, going back in time slightly, the other key bit of work we completed in the first few weeks was creating a utility room off the future kitchen. We decided to use the former downstairs loo and dressing area to do this. We needed to block up this entrance and add a new one straight from the kitchen. Here's a little clip of what it looked like originally. We stripped it back, and then Louis demolished the dividing walls between the toilet, sink and dressing area. There was a bit of dodgy demolition going on. Louis, can you put the light on?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. And once we'd finished demolishing, it was time to create the new entrance just here. Our bricklayers added in a concrete lintel and removed all of the stone from the wall. And that pretty much sums up the key works we undertook in the first few weeks. So I thought I'd show you how it's looking now.
We're in the room that's going to be the kitchen, and this is pretty much where all of the progress I've run you through is. So this is the utility room coming off the kitchen. The kitchen's going to be here. So it's now all boarded. We took away one of the windows, which is now hidden behind here. But it's also really nice height in here. So we think we might put like one of those ladders that slides around and have like all pantry storage. So this is looking good. And then coming further along here, we've boarded out the doorway that we found. So it's ready to be plastered inside of this, and it's going to be shelves. And then in terms of the finish for this wall, we think that we'll plaster all along the edge of here, so that most of the grey stone is gone apart from the sort of decorative bit above. And then similarly, all of this will be plastered. And then we're thinking of putting a stained glass window in here so that there's still light going into the cellar. I don't know, if anybody has any ideas for what our design for the stained glass would be, comment below. Our idea is, because it goes into our wine cellar, we thought we'd put like grapes or something into the glass. But I don't know, if anybody has any cool ideas, let us know. And then here, our entrance into the chapel, which is going to our living room, is finished. And it's all been boarded out as well. So it's looking good in here. And then we've decided to board to this height because we think we might panel the whole room to replicate the paneling on the window. And that way we preserve the ceiling perfectly as well.
So I hope you've enjoyed this video, even though it was a little bit disjointed. We have had a few messages, people saying that it seems like we're doing everything kind of in a bit of a haphazard way, just not focusing on the key rooms that we need. And it probably does come across like that because we're doing lots of the kind of stripping out of all of the rooms, but that's mainly because there's a bit of a mold issue and the mold sticks to those kinds of soft furnishings, so it was best to strip everything back because we also then needed to do plumbing and electrics for the whole house, which are all connected, so it had to be done in one go. But once those kinds of works are done and once we've made it watertight with the works that we need to do on the outside of the building, then we'll be focusing on the key rooms that we need, which are going to be the kitchen, the living room, the bedroom, and then the hallways to connect them. And we hope that that will be done sort of by the end of this year, November, December time. And we'll be able to move in with those rooms ready. And then once that's done, we'll focus more one room at a time, as people have been suggesting would be a more efficient way of doing it. This video has probably felt a little bit strange, lots of different clips sort of put together, but we didn't really realise how interested people would be. So at the very start of our journey, we were sort of filming in short form content for other platforms, but we have now started filming more long form for YouTube. So hopefully from now on, videos will make a bit more sense and be a bit more coherent. So if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe because it will help us a lot. And we're going to continue to share the full journey.